So is this political vendetta by the UPA government? Is the timing of this something that's going to be questioned strongly, or is this a natural move, as they seem to suggest today, since the commission had been announced in December? Let me take that question first to our analysts this evening and to our commentators, and then to the politicians. To Nalini Singh first. What do you make of the timing of this? Is that what is going to land the Congress into controversy?
Nidhi, what's happening on the 16th of May? An old government will go out and a new government will come in. But India carries on. So I will be extremely, if the Gujarat government appointed honorable district judge tables his report just before on the 16th, it will stretch my belief. If the outgoing government, the UPA 2 government, now appoints a commission before the 16th of May, it stretches my belief completely, because you have had 180 days to do whatever you wanted with this. Now, is investigation complete? Do we have the minimum database which an honorable judge requires so that they can begin the investigation, or is investigation equal to snooping? So what I'm saying is that if you have not been able to do it in 180 days, if you do not even do it by May, if you do it before May 16th, it's very suspect. Even if you don't do it by May 16th, are the people of India not going to pull the other government up if they have somebody, a judge, whom they think is inappropriate? And what about whoever is in the opposition? They're going to shout them down. So what is this? That you will appoint somebody just before you go out because the people of India are so spineless that they will not protest later on? I do not think that this is, and talking about national security and equating it to snooping of women, I agree. I do agree that
it's an important issue, but you think the timing smacks of
also I feel
something
that
completely
if you had all this, then why have you not completed your probe on the allegedly by the IB Bureau, Intelligence Bureau, which was snooping on the Finance Minister Pranab Mukherjee at that time, allegedly. So I'm saying, all these things are.
You think it's just too murky at this time? Shahid Siddiqui, would you agree that the timing is going to raise questions about the motives at this point? Why suddenly 2 weeks before the 16th of May has the Congress woken up to this? Or is it something that is, I mean, it is also a very important issue. The alleged misuse of state machinery is an important issue also and does require investigation. So how would you look at it, Shahid Siddiqui?
It is a very important issue and should have been investigated. But when you do it at the fag end of your government, when you know that a new government is going to come, whichever party takes over, then it smacks of, vendetta, it smacks of either your incompetence or your inability to do anything or your political opportunism. I don't know about the legality, it may be legal, but political morality requires that this should be left to the next government, and if next government thinks it fit to go into investigation, to appoint a commission, then they should have, then they will do it. To connect it to women's empowerment, women's rights, I think is silly. No women, the most, vehement supporters of women's rights may not find it very moral or very, correct.
Okay. Smacks of political opportunism, says Shahid Siddiqui. Dushyant Dave, senior lawyer, joins us tonight from Ahmedabad. Mr. Dave, what would you then read into this move at this time?
Well, Nidhi, there is two aspects. One, I am not in agreement with this argument that the outgoing government is not supposed to take decisions or take actions from time to time. It is a democratically elected government, and it is a government which is elected for full 5 years term. The term does not stop after 4 years and 9 months or 4 years and 6 months. So till the last day the government is entitled to take the decisions. That's what democracy is about. That's why they have been elected for 5 years term. So that's the first aspect. The second aspect is that this is, an extremely unfortunate, episode in the history of the democracy of this country, where the entire state machinery was used, to snoop over a young lady without any justification whatsoever. So there are two issues here. One, the abuse of the state powers, and the other is invasion on the privacy of an individual citizen, and right to privacy is right to life under our constitution. Supreme Court has said so for a long time. Now therefore, in my view, I think, even from the point of view of BJP, I would say that if there is no substance in it, for example, we don't know what the truth is. If there is no substance, the probe should have really cleared Mr. Modi about it. If there is substance, then I don't think Mr. Modi is fit enough to be the Prime Minister of this country. So, and there is a very serious issue about Gujarat, judges being appointed. You know the Nanavati Commission, for 12 years that commission is just sitting and doing nothing except enjoying the perquisite salaries and all kinds of facilities. It has steadfastly refused to give the reports. I have serious issues about, these kind of commissions being appointed by the state government.
But
whatever may be the reason,
you raise a point of legality.
Unfortunately, the state government...
No, one second. You raise a point of legality saying it's a democratically elected government that has the right to take decisions till the very last day. Absolutely, it does. It's not a government that's there, like you said, for 3 days less than its term and so on. But there is an ethical question here. Do you do something like this? Do you, for something that is very clearly a huge political issue as well, just on the eve of counting? I mean, we have 2 weeks to go, and all this time they couldn't find a judge. What suddenly changed?
And the report will not come in 2 weeks.
I think I would say this, that if the government failed to do it, which it has, it is most unfortunate. And sooner the government does it, it's better, because this is a very serious issue. I mean, in any other democracy of the world, in the Western world, Mr. Modi would have been, long time ago, indicted about it. You can't just allow these things to go away just because he is the prime ministerial candidate. It does not even befit BJP. It doesn't befit anybody else.
So
even Mr. Modi should agree for an independent probe. Why is he afraid of an independent probe?
Dushyant Dave's point is, one, that they are not legally out of bounds to do this, and B, if Mr. Modi and the BJP have nothing to hide, then why not welcome this probe, and why react at all? What would you say?
Nidhi, Mr. Dushyant Dave is a very poor apologist for a failed government, and a government which only knows how to fix people, whether they are political opponents, whether they are businessmen, whether they are government servants, or whether they are media persons. And of course, Mr. Dave, in his heart of heart, knows that how bad this government has been for India. I'm sure he has represented a lot of people in court cases where this government has tried to fix all and sundry, and the current effort to appoint a judge, and again another failed effort for 5 months. They have not been able to find one judge to come onto this absolutely politically motivated campaign to slander an honorable chief minister and soon to be prime minister. I feel very sorry Dushyantji is lending himself to be a part of this charade. Nobody will deny that a government is in continuity. They should have appointed somebody long back if they wanted to. Why suddenly, on the eve of the last 2 phases, when the results are going to be out very soon and this government is going to go packing, should there be sudden enthusiasm in this government to try and fix somebody where neither the lady in question or her family have given any complaint, neither there has been any effort to try and stop a probe? We already have a High Court judge, an honorable ex-High Court judge investigating into the matter. I don't know if Dushyantji is casting aspersions on another senior lady judge who's already seized of the matter. I don't know if Mr. Dushyant Dave is feeling so unnerved that there could be a possibility that a new government may come in and at that time he may have some difficulty in finding another way to fix this, fix the opposition. It's very unfortunate. I think Mr. Modi has shown great magnanimity. He has shown that he is not vindictive towards anybody, not even to Mr. Dave or to Mr. Rahul Gandhi, to Mr. Robert Vadra. He has shown a certain class, a certain dignity of his position. Unfortunately, a flustered, a failed and a fixing UPA Congress
Nidhi, I would
has
like to
no other way to fight its political battle except try and stoop
you
to such petty issues.
You of course clearly see it as vendetta, and I
bringing
think
out.
Right, before I take it to the
It's
Congress
a complete
representative,
political
Mr.
vendetta,
Dave,
and I feel media media and some so-called intellectuals and independent observers are falling prey to this government's efforts. A government which is already on its way out, I think should stick to trying and sorting out the economic woes of the people of India and not just...
I don't think anyone's falling prey to anything, because there are fundamentally serious issues that are also involved. But as you rightly said, Dushyant Dave, there is already a probe that is underway in Gujarat.
Well,
there is a probe underway in Gujarat.
There are complaints of 1984, the Liberan Commission appointed by...
No, so that's what I'm asking, Mr. Dave, that therefore when there is already a commission in Gujarat that is probing this, when this parallel commission was appointed by...
on the 1984 massacre...
Okay, but when this parallel commission was appointed, then also there was an uproar about it, Mr. Dave. The point is...
Let me respond first.
Yes.
Let me respond. Because Mr. Goyal has gone on and on against me, so I have a right to rebut to Mr. Goyal. Let me say one thing, Mr. Goyal. First and foremost, if Mr. Modi wants to be vindictive, I welcome it. I am not scared of Mr. Modi. Let me tell you bluntly on a national television. I have never been scared except of God.
What he is
okay?
not.
So be
Mr.
very
Modi
clear about that, Mr. Goyal. Don't threaten on a national television. Okay, that's correct. No, this is a vague threat. So let's be very clear about it.
I would like you to arbitrate.
Secondly,
I would like to
Piyush, let him finish. You had your
say.
He patiently heard you.
What is Dushyant saying?
Okay.
He's unnecessarily creating a scare.
No,
let him finish.
Let him
finish. Modi is not vindictive towards anybody.
Okay, Piyush Goyal is not threatening you. He's not threatening you. He's clarifying that. He's making that clear. There is no threat.
Yes, so let's...
Yes, okay. Let's move on from there to the substance of the argument. Yes, Dushyant Dave.
Okay. Let me answer one more thing. Mr. Goyal perhaps doesn't know, I have defended the Sikh community free of charge against Mr. Sajan Kumar, and I have done it to the best of my abilities to ensure that a charge of murder is established against him. I have been on national television for last 3 years saying that Prime Minister of India is guilty as hell in 2G and Colgate. I don't belong to any political party. I have nothing to do with Congress, Mr. Goyal. You should know that by now. But I am definitely one of those who genuinely believes that people's rights, especially human rights, their fundamental rights must be protected. I have nothing about this woman. There is a large-scale abuse of power by the state machinery in Gujarat. Thousands of people's phones have been tapped illegally. Everybody knows that. So, it is something which is very important for all of us to understand that this is not about individuals. I have my own regard for Mr. Modi. That's a separate issue.
Like to answer. No, one second. I have to get the Congress in. Gentlemen, one second. Please let me get the Congress in, because they are the party in the dock today.
I think he is accountable to provide evidence for these false allegations.
Piyush Goyal, I think we have to admit that there is an issue at hand, which is why even a commission in Gujarat is probing it, and therefore that probe is on, like you said correctly. But Mr. Kesavan, one second. Mr. Kesavan,
I want to answer that question.
But the lady in question has not made any complaint.
Well, I want to answer that question.
Well, there is still a probe underway for a reason.
And if my daughter, or if anybody's daughter is being harassed by an individual,
yes,
I think we would go and
Mr.
seek
Kesavan of the Congress will answer that, but Mr. Kesavan, please first answer.
One second.
Please first answer, Mr. Kesavan, that if you couldn't find a judge for all these months, how has the UPA suddenly woken up to this on the eve of results? Is it not unethical for the UPA to do that?
Let us just understand one thing, Nidhi. The cabinet didn't take a decision today to form a commission. The cabinet took a decision on December 26th. It's long before, and there is a procedure and a process. So let's not insinuate anything there on why a judge is not, appointed yet. The decision was taken on December 26th, well before the code of conduct. Let me answer this question about this parallel commission. See, November 25th, Gujarat announced a judicial commission. But let us understand one thing. This illegal surveillance, this, illegal activity of, constitutional violation of privacy and liberty is not just confined to Gujarat. We all know that the tapping and the illegal surveillance continued in Karnataka. So the Gujarat Commission, the Gujarat government is trying to investigate a surveillance about its own chief minister, about its own home minister, by the commission appointed by the government. But the problem is it's just not confined within the vicinity of Gujarat. It is an interstate issue where Karnataka is involved too, where this particular person was also illegally surveilled and her phones were illegally tapped in Karnataka, which is why Under the Commissions of Inquiry Act, the central government has full authority to, have a central judicial commission. That answers the question. Second thing is, why, that is why there is a parallel commission, because it spread up to Gujarat. After Gujarat, it went to Karnataka, so it's just not within Gujarat. Second point is this, why are these people taking it personally? Let the truth set them free. See, this is not a personal issue. Very recently, on April 3rd, the Gujarat government filed an affidavit in the Supreme Court. We've been hearing the BJP leaders, even though there was a deafening silence from Amit Shah ji, the BJP leaders have completely dismissed this. But the Gujarat government has filed an affidavit in the Supreme Court saying they accept there was a surveillance. So, it's so contradictory. For a long while, they were saying no surveillance happened.
Never denied.
Now they say
they always accepted
surveillance.
They accepted. No, but Mr. Kesavan, the point is like
you said.
You said at the beginning. One second, Piyush. Mr. Kesavan, you said at the beginning that it was in December. I'm going to put everybody's mics down. One second. Can I please get my question in? Mr. Kesavan, you said, like you said at the beginning, it was the cabinet that took the decision in December to appoint this commission. You had between December and the 2nd of May to find a judge to head that commission. You found only the 2nd of May to make an announcement that would happen. You could have done it in March, you could have done it in February, you could have done it in January. What happened?
There was no announcement made. A question was posed to him and he said, see, the law, see, the issue is this, you're taking this May 16 too seriously, like what Dushyant Daveji said.
Of course you take it seriously.
The government is well within its right to appoint. All he went to say was this government, all he meant to say was this government has formed the judicial commission and it will appoint the judge in good time. Why are we casting aspersions on this? And I just want to ask one thing, why is there so much fear? If there is nothing to hide, why can't you welcome this? Why are you so worried?
Okay, first,
if there is nothing to hide.
Right of reply to Piyush Goyal and then to Shahid and to Nalini. Yes, Piyush Goyal. If there's nothing to hide, then welcome the probe. Doesn't matter.
I'm very happy to know that May 16th is not important. The Congress has already given up any hope that they will have any result on May 16th worth cheering.
Oh, please, sir.
So I think a government which is on its way out should stick to matters which are only of a continuing nature. They should have realized that there is already a probe going on. There was no need in the first place to have another probe. If at all they decided, they should have taken action.
I told you why there was a need.
Now, on the eve of demitting office, they suddenly wake up. And when they find they cannot contest Mr. Modi on the plank of development, good governance, integrity, a better life for the future of India, now they find these items which they have failed to act on for 5 months. I think the Congress and its spokespersons should give up any hope that any judge will fall prey to their gimmickry. Nobody is going to come into their trap. This government on its way out is now only finding lame duck excuses.
Shahid Siddiqui, I want to raise an important point here, which is that the issues of illegal surveillance in this country are actually very serious issues. And it's not just confined to this controversy in Gujarat and this lady, but also, as Nalini Singh was pointing about, controversies that the UPA government itself has faced and not really resolved. And in the midst of this politicking and the timing of this entire commission and this controversy today, I think the seriousness of this issue is getting sidelined. This actually does require a more thorough investigation at many levels, and yet it's going to get completely overshadowed by the tutu meme of it before the results.
It's absolutely unfortunate, because this is a very, very important issue, because the new technology has made it so easy, and the intrusion of the state into everyday life of a citizen has become so blatant and so irresponsible that now the privacy of any individual is not safeguarded by the given laws. But having said that, let me point out that the issue is not the investigation. I welcome the investigation when it was announced, and it should have been done long time back. The issue is also not the legality, as I said in the beginning. The issue is the political morality. And in any democracy in the world, at the fag end of the elections, when the results are to be announced in 2 weeks' time, you don't take such decisions which are not so important for national security. Is it a question of national security? It's a question of national economy.
It's not like appointing an army chief. It's not like appointing.
Nothing has been done.
It's not
So,
like appointing the next
yes,
army chief.
it shows, it smacks,
No, no.
it smacks of their failure.
No, no,
and
Nidhi,
they are
I just
feeling
want to
that they are
Mr.
not going to
Kesavan,
remain in
answer that
power.
question that
They are not
Shahid
going to
Nidhi
come
raises.
back, and therefore they want to sow the seeds of, problems for the next government.
Okay.
It's very clear.
Please let the sir, my esteemed colleague Siddiqui ji and Piyush ji, please let the people of India decide who is coming back or who is not coming back. Let us not be precautious about this. Let us wait for the humble verdict of the electorate. Second point I want to make is about this appointment.
But you said 16th is not important.
I think I never said that. I said the electorate is going to decide who is going to come to power. Let's wait. Let's not preempt them is what I'm saying, sir. That is all that I'm saying.
Okay, Nalini Singh wanted
And
to comment.
let me tell one thing, Nidhi.
Yeah.
Let us say, let me make a point.
Yeah.
Let us say that, December 26th, the cabinet announced a decision. Let's say in 2 weeks after December, if, the government had appointed a judge, everybody would have said it's a witch hunt. Everybody would have said they're going behind them. It's a catch-22. Let me just say one thing. If there was an axe to grind, why wouldn't the government ensure that the probe is done well before the first
Because
phase of
every
voting
judge
and
said no to
embarrassment?
you.
Nobody
was
was
willing to
not
head
take
the
its course.
commission.
Because you couldn't find a
No,
judge.
we stand by the rule of law and the law of the land.
Because there was nobody willing to head the commission.
Even now it's a desperate attempt.
Okay,
It's a
one second.
desperate
Nalini
attempt
wants to
now
come in.
to find a judge.
I would say
Nalini wants to come in.
to Mr. Kesavan, the Congress representative here, he's saying who's coming back. Shall I tell you who's coming back? The people of India are coming back. Why are we saying that after May 16th we are not going to count we the ordinary people? So this haste in making this commission, and I would like to say to Mr. Dushant Dave, whom I have great regard for, that he's saying that Modi ordered this, Modi did this, etc. Now there's a commission. We should actually hold back before we say these things. We are talking about surveillance. Why has the government then allowed in Gurgaon, a few kilometers from here, the biggest, hugest servers where American companies are listening, snooping, listening to every telephone call in this country right now as you and I are talking? And I would say, I absolutely agree that this is a question of women's empowerment. This is a question of national security. I say, if you snoop on women.
It's a question of privacy.
But then, on privacy, so national security. Then I would say, please, also, a Muslim girl was gang raped in Jharkhand hardly about 4 days ago by scores or by tens of men. That's a question of national security. This Congress worker, this little girl, Congress worker in Latur, because Shinde Saab spoke about it today, Latur, she was murdered by
I'm going to take you to yesterday.
All these are matters of
Dushant
national
Dave,
security.
I will
We
take
should
you
get
to
it in.
24 hours ago where there was a blast on a train in Chennai and a lady died. If Mr. Shinde as Home Minister today had told us that he was appointing some kind of commission of inquiry on that and a special probe committee on that, maybe that would have seemed like something a little more relevant to what is happening today. You understand, Dushant Dave, that the seriousness of this issue, which I agree is a serious issue, is just getting sidelined by the timing of this by the Congress.
I definitely would agree that even in respect of a blast which has taken place in Chennai, some kind of an investigation must take place. But that does not detract from the position that what happened in Gujarat in Snoopgate is one of the worst examples of abuse of state machinery. And machinery by whom? Mr. Modi is the Home Minister. Mr. Amit Shah was the Minister of State for Home. They are directly responsible for what happened. Their IPS officers have done this. They have chosen IPS officers who use them as their mercenaries for a long time. Look at Rebecca Brooks in London. For merely, tapping the phone calls, she is now facing a criminal trial and may have to go to jail. Now, we are not even doing that. We are allowing this nonsense to go on in the country, and you want to talk about everything else. Somebody wants to talk about what is happening in Gurgaon. Somebody wants to talk about vindictiveness.
Not at all.
What is all this?
You're
This is an
snooping.
issue which is serious
American
issue,
companies are
which has
snooping.
to be addressed.
They're listening
which
to
should have
telephone
been
calls.
addressed,
How is that
I agree,
irrelevant?
earlier, but that does not mean it can't be addressed now.
Okay, but Dushant Dave, I have a question for you as a lawyer. Is that if
Give me
this
a quick
government was
point.
to appoint a
Give me
judge
a
to
quick
head
point.
to head the inquiry commission, let's say on Monday, and a new government comes in on the 16th of May, can they overturn that? Can they scrap that inquiry commission? What happens legally?
Absolutely, they have power to do so. No difficulty about it.
Okay, so Piyush Goyal, if it is an NDA government then that comes in on the 16th of May, and if there is an inquiry commission, will you scrap it or will you let an investigation go on?
Well, that is for the new government to decide, but my good friend Dushyant Dave seems so over-enthusiastic on trying to cast aspersions on my senior leaders that he's forgotten that a commission of inquiry is seized of the matter, and he seems to have abrogated to himself the role of the judge and the jury and the prosecutor and almost announced judgment on your channel. The sad part is
we are only talking
the
about
UPA's track
investigation.
record.
We are talking about investigation. We are not saying they are guilty.
The sad part is the UPA's track record lends us to believe that they are not at all concerned about freedom of speech and expression. You saw what Mr. Kapil Sibal did when he tried to introduce section 66A in the IT Act and amended it to try and stifle the free voice in this country, whether on social media or on the internet. What Nalini ji just said, you saw that the failure of the government to protect the privacy of Indians in this country. We are in fact given to understand that the government's machinery, especially the IB and the NTRO, is tapping every opposition leader's phones, his homes. They have bugged all our offices and homes. It is a matter of shame that the UPA has only resorted to illegal technology and illegal techniques to try and fix every businessman in this country, every politician. I think it's time that they now make way for an honest, good government.
I need to.
Okay, Mr. Keswar, quick last rebuttal. I have to take a break after this.
I just want to make one point.
Yeah.
I want to make one point. This judicial commission, people should understand, is just not about Gujarat Snoopgate. It also includes, leaking the call data records of Arun Jaitley ji in Delhi. It's also about, the snooping which happened on, Veerabhadra Singh when he was opposition leader when there was a BJP government. So it has 2-3 issues. It's just not Gujarat. So if they really want to know what happened with the,
why did they not do it when Arun Jaitley came out?
It's about that too. So that is why I don't understand why they're being defensive.
Why did the government not act when Arun Jaitley's case came up?
It was personal. Let's understand that the Supreme Court is seized of the
matter. Why did you not act when Arun Jaitley's case came up?
The inquiry will be about snooping.
The truth will set them free.
Or it will be about...
I think the
I have to leave it at that on this issue.
Or it's about Gujarat.
The timing of this will create an uproar. It may have been a much more credible inquiry commission and perhaps not so politicized if it had been announced many months ago rather than on the eve of election results. We'll have to leave it at that on this particular subject. I'd like to thank Nalini Singh and Dushyant Dave for joining us. We'll take a quick break. When we come back in 2 minutes, the other big political development of the day. The Congress appears to be in a dilemma over whether or not to support a third front after the 16th of May. Has the party already conceded defeat? Should they support a third front? More on that in just a moment. Well, the other interesting political story today, has the Congress conceded defeat already? That's what the opposition claims, with some senior leaders of the Congress party already talking about whether to support a third front after the 16th of May. But the Congress is divided on what it should do, with Rahul Gandhi keen to focus on restructuring the party if things don't go their way, while others in the party are desperate to stop the BJP at any cost. Joining us in this particular segment, Mr. D. Raja of the CPI here in the studio with us. Mr. Raja, do you think that the Congress is in a sense running away from a third front from all available reports, that they're conceding defeat?
No, the issue is that Congress party has been conceding its defeat even before the final phase of polling is over.
You think they've conceded?
They have conceded. Otherwise, they should not have opened the discussion or debate on what kind of government would come up and what would be their attitude to that government. So the Congress party has considered the defeat. That is clear. And BJP is desperate to somehow not allow the non-BJP, non-Congress parties come together and claim for government forming. Because it is true that BJP talks about third front is an idea of the past, or it is a fiction, it is history. Then why should they keep talking about the so-called third front? That is my question. If it has nothing to do with the current political development or situation, why should BJP continue to discuss the so-called third front? It means BJP is down the line is rattled.
But then aren't you happy then that the Congress is talking about a third front already? Because then you would need one of the two formations, no? And that would more likely be the Congress in the case of the third front.
As far as left parties are concerned, we have been campaigning to remove Congress from power, at the same time not to allow BJP to come to power. And we are asking the people to give their verdict in favor of non-BJP, non-Congress, secular democratic parties, including regional parties and left parties. The country needs an alternative, a pro-people alternative to both Congress and BJP. And now, since Congress is conceding its defeat, and we'll have to see what Congress is going to do.
Interesting points you raised there. I'll take that to Mr. Kesavan first. That Mr. Kesavan, the moment your senior leaders in the party start talking about the possibility of a third front, reports then start coming out of your party headquarters about Rahul Gandhi looking at long-term restructuring, he's not in favor of supporting any front and so on. It seems that the Congress has thrown in the towel.
Congress party is very happy with the way the election has progressed up till now. The Congress party is running on its record. The Congress party is very confident, and I'm sure that we'll do as good as last time. And I think we're very confident that we'll form the government and ensure all the secular forces together stop these divisive forces of the which are there's a very clear fight here in this election. I think there will be a consolidation of the secular forces, and the Congress party is bound to form the government. And I think I'll tell you one thing, Nidhi, this happened in 2004. There was this big India Shining campaign, and BJP fell a victim of their own hype. 2009, again the pollsters said Congress is going to bite dust. Advaniji and Lok Purush, they again bit dust. The BJP lost. It's the same thing, the hype
no, but would you concede that there is a debate within your party about whether or not a third front?
For the UPA.
But would you at least admit that there's a debate within your party about whether or not there should be support to a third front formation?
Third front...
Don't say you're going to get 300 seats
concept, now. Nidhi. Third front is a notional concept. No, there is. You tell me that you see the inherent contradictions there. You have Mayawati ji who cannot get along with Mulayam ji. That's one. You have somebody like the left who can't get along with Mamta ji. Both of them are against the BJP. You have somebody like ADMK and DMK who are both attack the BJP who can't get together. Where is this third front? That's why I'm telling you it's notional, and I think they're completely, I think it's a big hoopla is being made about them. I think the Congress is confident, and the Congress will lead the secular forces in the country when the next government
No, but then you are discounting what Ahmed Patel said, what Jairam Ramesh said about it. These are your party leaders, Salman Khurshid also. They all said they were ready to have talks with like-minded parties on a third front. So you're contradicting them. So there is a division.
No, Mr. Ahmed Patel ji has... Not at all. Mr. Ahmed Patel ji has made it very clear. Today the spokesperson, when he addressed the Congress briefing, was very clear. He said there is no talk about third front. The Congress is confident and we'll form the government. And let us assume one thing, Nidhi. The poll pundits are going, all over the place, talking about reduced numbers. I don't want to even indulge in speculation, but even with 145 seats, in UPA 1, the Congress formed a stable government and gave a good government to the people of India for 5 years. So let's keep that in mind too.
Okay, Piyush Goyal has been smiling away, sitting there. Piyush Goyal, are you amused with only what Mr. Kesavan has said or with what Mr. Raja has said? Because you know that there is a very real possibility that regional parties will play a very important role in whatever government may, ultimately come after the 16th of May. You won't discount that, I'm sure.
Well, actually, I'm not even required in this debate because Mr. Raja and Mr. Kesavan are enough to fight with each other. Which is the only possibility, if at all they were to even try
and cobble together fights on TV.
Any such front. No, I mean that's fine, but what I mean to say is you saw what happened in '89. They got together. We also actually had supported at that time, but the third front hardly had a few months. Then there was another party. Then in '96 you saw two governments come and go. One of the governments actually went in '90 because the Congress leader, then leader, felt two policemen were snooping outside his house and he withdrew support on that pretext. So basically the Congress not only is a confused party, but it is also a party which doesn't know what it wants to do. You have some leaders saying they want to support a third front because they've already realized that they can't even get 3-digit number in this election. Then you have the leader who comes in today and says that no, but our spokesperson has said we don't support third front. And rightfully Kesavanji has said that Mayawati Mulayam can't see eye to eye, Mamta left can't see eye to eye. Any case, I don't think the left also will get into double digit, forget having any role to play in the future. So the situation is, the country is voting decisively for Narendra Modi. In the race, he is so far ahead that the second is so far behind they can't even possibly coalesce a group around them to give any challenge. So now you have a situation that parties which oppose Narendra Modi now have realized that even in their own state they may not win a single MP. So they have started supporting another idea which is a failed idea and saying that no, maybe he will win against Mr. Modi in Varanasi. So it's a complete confused situation. The people are voting for a decisive mandate.
I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that to Mr. Raja again before I come to Shahid.
Government. Only Mr. Modi can provide that today.
No, the inherent contradictions in a third front, in an alternative front that both Mr. Kesavan and Mr. Piyush Goyal talked about are actually facts. Because we've seen the lack of success of these formations in the past. And how do you deal with those inherent contradictions when you have so many parties with contradictory ideologies?
There are contradictions, I agree. There are contradictions within Congress. There are contradictions within BJP and Sangh Parivar. Don't say there is no contradiction. Otherwise, BJP should not have lost several senior leaders at the time of elections. So there are contradictions. How to resolve contradictions, how to find a solution. That is politics. And people should understand, since 1977-78 onwards, there were several coalition governments in the country. People are looking for a better coalition always. Today, what people look for is a coalition which can provide an alternative to both Congress and BJP to their policies. When I say this, there was a situation in 1996. I was very much present in the formation of United Front government, and Mr. Kesavan, our Congress spokesperson, should understand Congress conceded defeat at that point of time, and BJP was given the opportunity to form the government. That government could not last for more than 13 days. That was the time United Front emerged on the basis of a common minimum program. And let us understand, they talk about UPA 1. UPA 1 was backed by the left parties with a strong presence of the left in parliament, and there was a common minimum program. Now UPA 2 started with inherent contradictions. That is the biggest failure, weakness of UPA 2.
Okay.
As far as BJP is concerned, they had one NDA, national agenda for the governance. But what happened? The AIADMK broke with NDA, and that led to the fall of the...
So you're saying all coalitions are contradictory, but maybe that is
exactly. Now what we need an alternative to the policies pursued by the Congress party and the BJP.
Okay,
and
let me
I am asking them, what is the big difference between Congress and BJP as far as economic policies are concerned, foreign policies are concerned, and other social policies are concerned? I can challenge
you're saying
both the parties.
You provide the complete alternative. Shahid Siddiqui, just weigh in on this. Do you believe that the third front is a serious option after the 16th of May? I mean, we don't know what the results of this election will be. Let's not sit and presume here. But, do you believe that, it is a serious option A, and B, that it's a viable one?
Nidhi, I agree with my very dear friend, Comrade Raja, that in India we must accept the reality of coalition fronts, and these coalitions have improved with time. We have learned, the parties have learned, the people have learned how to run these coalitions, point one. The second point I would like to make before I come to the seriousness of the coalitions is that Congress had conceded defeat long time back, and those who were talking to Congress leaders, cabinet ministers and senior leaders privately, they were telling them that look, we will see to it that we get about 100 seats, around 120, 30 seats, and we see to it that a third front takes over and we are able to stop Narendra Modi. So their whole strategy has been to stop Narendra Modi at any cost, and they have been working on it for last 6-8 months. They considered defeat long time back, and that's why the Congress cadre was so demoralized. And the last point, the question you asked was that yes, it would have been a serious option if they would have been able to work out some kind of understanding and arrangement before the elections. But they were not able to do that. They failed to do that. And the inner contradictions within the third front are not just, differences of attitude, or they are basic fundamental differences of politics, which
and clash
is
of personalities.
very, very difficult to overcome. Yes, personalities, absolutely, personalities, politics, and how to gain power, and then there are a dozen presidential candidates, and half a dozen of them think that this is the last chance for them, they will not get another chance, and therefore they are extremely desperate to become Prime Minister.
Okay,
and that
quick
is
last
the
word
biggest
from both
undoing
Piyush
of
Goyal
this
and Mr.
so-called
Kesavan. I have 30
does not
seconds.
make it serious.
Mr. Kesavan first and then Piyush Goyal. Yes.
I'll go ahead. I just want to say one thing, Nidhi. Basically, I told you about the inherent contradictions in the third front, but there is one common thread. All of them stand for a pluralistic and secular India, and all of them are against Narendra Modi ji for his divisive and prejudiced parochial politics. You have seen this in the past few days.
12.5 minutes.
Everybody has attacked Narendra Modi ji. Everybody has attacked. So all I'm saying is this: those that are inherent contradictions after the elections,
Congress.
These forces will unite together and ensure that the social fabric of India remains.
Okay, you made your point quite interestingly. Piyush Goyal, last word, last 20 seconds, please.
Nidhi, this is the same old tape recorder of these so-called secularists, whereas Mr. Modi has proved his secularism with his track record. Today the NDA comprises 26 parties. It is the largest rainbow coalition India has ever seen. We have Chandrababu Naidu down south. We have 5 more parties in Tamil Nadu. We have parties in the north like Akali Dal and Haryana Janat Party. We have parties in the east. Today, nationally, the nation is looking for a good, honest, strong, decisive leader.
And you made your point that you believe...
presents that hope and change to young India. And I think it will be a decisive majority for the BJP and the NDA.
I'm happy to announce to what everybody already knows, that there is only 15 days now left, exactly 2 weeks left. We will know what the results of this election are. Nobody will be happier than all TV anchors and all studios.
Finally, I understand my good friend Goyal and his party BJP are taking people for granted. That is the characteristic
You think that they are overconfident?
Yeah, they take people for granted. That is the characteristic of a right-wing
Mr.
political party.
What
I am saying, let us wait till May 16. We will see the verdict of the people.
Believe me, we are all waiting till the 16th of May.
Comrade Raja, our vote in West Bengal will be more than the left.
Waiting till the 16th of May. Cannot wait for this to end. Thank you very much to all of you for joining us tonight on another interesting day of political developments. Thank you very much. We'll be back on Monday for another week of the day's big political stories. Do join us then.